Well, salutations, kindred spirits. Welcome to another magic lesson. Today we're going to look at one of my effects. Yeah, something from Tricks of My Trade. This is an idea that's over 20 years old, and by the time we're done here, I'm going to tell you all the whats, the wheres, the whys, all the W's, and even the hows. But hey, let's take a look at the trick in question. It revolves around misprinted cards, which back in the day you used to get a lot of. And take note, this is just cardboard and ink. There's no magnets or string or flaps. This just works with pressure and sleight of hand. You can get those pips to move one at a time back where they started. Here comes number 2. And number 3 I'll do visually. Check it out. That's all 4. Boop, back to normal. And that's my trick called Pip Trip. Yeah, Pip Trip. This is my effort at making a color change meaningful. Yeah, it's more than just a trick. It's a quest to find meaning in magic. You know, quite often you'll see guys doing these color changes rapidly without any motivation. Well, I thought, heck, if one of these cards was misprinted and you fixed it, now we have a meaning. And let's talk about first the wares. You can find it. If you want to get the full scoop, more information, you can get my book or the DVD Built to Last. That's available on conjure.com. In addition to this trick, there's 20 other things you can learn, so you could get that information. You'll want to learn also the triple Erdnase transformation. That's the main move for this trick, and I'm going to teach it to you. And hey, if you do the Erdnase change, which is this move that a lot of people do, if you do that, you'll want to learn this triple variant by Kurtz that allows you to get an extra change in there. And the where and history on that is it's in the Annotated Erdnase by Darwin Ortiz. This is a wonderful book that makes Erdnase more attainable and gives some great extra information. There's also a wonderful handling for the triple Erdnase in John Rockabomber's lovely Card Finesse 2. I'll talk about both of those right now, then we'll get into the Pip Matrix. So, the triple Erdnase transformation as by Kurtz. I hope you're familiar with the Erdnase or the Houdini change. If not, here it is briefly. As your hand covers the face card of the deck, it pushes it forward slightly. I recommend you do this as the hand turns down. I hate seeing this change where people just shove that card forward. It's very simple to do it by curling your fingers, and then as the hand opens, as it opens, that pushes the face card forward. In that position, the fatty part of your fingers, the base of your fingers, can contact the card below it, pull it out, and then move it atop the former lower card. And by squaring the card below it, you get this wonderful illusion of a card changing. It was poorly performed, but that's the Erdnase transformation. The Erdnase triple transformation, the Kurtz variant, takes it a step further in this manner. After you've pushed the card forward, then pulled the card back beneath it and levered it on top, use your forefinger from the left hand to push upwards and push those two cards into a palm position. Gary uses the thumb to kind of affect the change. I use the thumb to drag a pip, which works well. But that's the first change, and then when you release the palm cards, you'll get that second change. And again, this is pushing the card forward, pulling the card back, levering it on top, pushing with your finger, secreting those cards into a palm, as your hand in this manner shows the transformation, and then releasing the double palm on top. That's the Kurtz handling. Preferred for the trick that I'm doing, if you want a great version of that triple transformation, here's the flat-handed version from Finesse 2. It's basically the same, but the cards never go in palms. So I move that card forward, pull it back and on top. Now the finger just pushes upward. This hand doesn't go to a palm position, it just angles to the right slightly on that change. So this hand never has to close. And then back, square, and boom. And that's a great way to get a nice flat-handed triple Erdnase transformation. Yeah, not my skill set, but hey, you can practice it and use it if you like. So those are the techniques that you'll need to know. I guess also before getting into some of the handling, I want to talk about where you can get cards like this that you'll need. Yeah, you'll need 3 misprinted cards to make this effect work. And in my day, I made these with rub-on transfers. It was a little rub-on sticker you could put on blank cards or erase the pips. These days, I would probably recommend either printing the cards through an inkjet printer or maybe just contact your favorite gaff card maker. You can maybe find some of the commercial releases of this. This was put in a few decks. I gave Eric Ross permission, Illusionist. Greg Wilson has a great release called Pip Trip. He simplified the handling. I prefer my handling, but the cards are there if you need them. And that's just a couple words on how to get the cards. Maybe the best bet is just to find someone who makes gaff cards and have them print you up a set or 3 sets, because if you start doing this, you'll probably want to do it more. So those are the cards you'll need, and here's how you set them up. The top of the deck, on the face down top of the deck is the regular 4 of clubs. Face up above that is this card with 1 pip moved. Above that is the card in this position with 2 pips moved in the proper place. And somewhere in the pack, oriented properly so you know which way the pips are pointing, I use this as an orientation so I know that I'm working in this direction. Into that pack is the misprinted 4 of clubs. So introduce your plot. I used to say, I work for US Playing Card Company, I'm the guarantee guy, because back in the day they used to guarantee the cards. It would be guaranteed. Any defects, you send the pack back, they send you a new one. They don't do that anymore, I don't think, but that was my presentation in the day. They say, hey, yeah, you know those defective cards you find? I used to be the guy that would fix those for the US Playing Card Company. Here, let me demonstrate. So run through the face-up pack, whatever presentation you're gonna use. Introduce the card, maybe let the people feel it if you want. I don't know what your jam is, do your thing. When you're ready to start the trick, move this card face down below the pack. Remember, we have 2 cards reversed there. Note they can start in the regular way, and you can use like a mechanical reverse. I think I talk about that in the book to get them set up. But whenever you're ready to do the trick, this is the lead-in. These cards are in that situation. The card goes face down below the face-up deck, and then the whole deck is turned face up. That just basically puts this card above the 2 misprinted ones in preparation for that Gary Kurtz triple Erdnase change. That's exactly what we do to make it look like the first pip moves here. Start at the beginning, move backwards, palm the 2. As you square the palm, that thumb covers where that pip has already moved, right? And then we're gonna create the impression, it's already moved, but now we get to look like we pull it down there. You can push this card over and turn the deck. Just let this hang casually at the back as you do this. To create the second change, square your palmed cards atop the pack, then swivel the right hand to the right. Once again, our change is done, but the audience doesn't know it until we move to the right and expose that pip has moved. And for the last transformation, we're going to need to get a break underneath the uppermost 4 cards. As always, the way that I advocate this is through a pinky count. This is releasing cards off the tip of your pinky 1 at a time to get a break below the 4. You have other methods, maybe a thumb count would work, and you use that. But I'm gonna say, learn the pinky count. It suits it well. And to finish, we use the pirouette change or the shapeshifter change to transform the 4 back into its normal state. The shapeshifter or the pirouette, Oscar Munoz pirouette change. Marc, what is Marc? Why am I blanking? Marc Desouza. Sorry, Marc Desouza blanked on me for a second. He finessed this change. It's basically this. After you get your break from the 4, the pinky break under the 4, pick the cards up at the index corners. That's the thumb and the second finger at the index corners. The thumb and the second finger of the other hand below it bends slightly, giving some tension, and that's going to flip the card 180 degrees to affect that visual transformation. Just drop the 4 face up atop the deck, then push it off, and now the deck is properly oriented. And if you choose to continue, those cards are on the top, ready to be disposed of. So now there you go. That's how I do the Pip Trip trick, the Gary Kurtz Erdnase triple transformation followed by a shapeshifter change. Thank you, Marc Desouza. I did want to share one more thing before we leave this video, and that's the trick that inspired this video. A trick that inspired this video? Yeah, it's right here. It comes from the wonderfully creative mind of Nicholas Lawrence. Maybe you're familiar with him. If not, correct that mistake. Nicholas Lawrence presents, a wonderful producer of some great magic. And he has this idea of visually fixing the misprinted card. That's just one idea though. Alternatively, you could create the misprinted card. One at a time, no CGI, no magnets, no flaps. It's just like real magic, and that's all four back to where they started. You want to fix the card visually? That's fine. Check it out. That's all four back to normal. That is Nicholas Lawrence's WPM 40. And well, nothing I say or do is going to top that. So we'll bring this video to a close, and I'll thank you for watching. See you next time.